Greetings and welcome to another episode of Into the Pit. If you like my channel, drop me a like below and subscribe, or support me through PayPal. You'll see the information below. Yeah, today it's Autopsy time. Probably one of the sickest death metal bands of all time. Chris Reifert was involved with the first death album, Scream Bloody Gore. He performed the drums on that entire album, only then to depart and form his own band called Autopsy. Now, Autopsy's debut, Severed Survival, is a classic, and that was pretty much straightforward, gruesome death metal, very high-paced. And with the follow-up, Mental Funeral, the band would proceed to incorporate more doomish elements into their music. Also, a killer album by Autopsy, would rank at my number 2 spot, probably. And yeah, another great, sick, really raw produced death metal effort here. I think a lot of bands of late have sort of copied that style, forming that sort of what nowadays often gets called that cavernous death metal, with a really organic, churning, raw sound to it. So Autopsy have been hugely influential, and Chris Reifert and the boys are still active. They just brought out a new album called Morbidity Triumphant, so check that out. And yes, what more can I say? Sick lyrics, absolutely sick lyrics, as we used to with Autopsy. This album was produced by Autopsy and a certain man called Hammy. And the album cover was done by Kev Walker. Now, there's another iconic death metal album cover. So cool. I managed to get the debut and this one as digipacks, so it's really nice. What do they say here? Autopsy, Masters of Sickness and Supreme and Gore Galore, were probably the world's greatest death metal band. Terrorizer magazine. So definitely one of the sickest. Chris Reifert's vocals are unrivaled. If you ask me, he's as unique as a John Tardy from Obituary. Really, you can pick out Chris anywhere. It's just a unique voice, just like John Tardy and probably Glenn Benton. So really a very unique vocal approach. Not just the typical grunts, it's like the snarling rolling of the R and guttural sounds. It's yeah, unimitable really. Great tracks on here. Twisted Massive, Burn Decay is more fast-paced, like the debut. Then you've got In the Grip of Winter, that's when it gets more doomy again. Flesh Crawl, Torn from the Womb, Slaughtered Day, Robbing the Grave, Hole in the Head, Bonesaw, Dark Crusade, Mental Funeral. This one's got bonus tracks on the Retribution for the Dead, Ridden with Disease, the demo, and Service for a Vacant Coffin. Also, no, that's a live version, sorry, yeah. Those two tracks being from the debut, of course. This came out on Peaceville Records in 1990 and belongs in every well-sorted death metal collection, if you ask me. So really, if you're not familiar with Autopsy's earlier work, or if you're into this so-called new cavernous, raw, dripping meat kind of death metal, then do check out one of the bands that has sort of created the genre, really. I think another band that had a heavy influence on that is probably Incantation. So there you go. Autopsy, Mental Funeral, out on Peaceville Records. If I'm not mistaken, they are still signed to Peaceville. I'm not 100% sure, but I will be checking out their new album as well, and hopefully I'll be getting Eric Cutler on the channel for a short interview about Morbidity Triumphant, their latest album. So you'll find more in the links section below. Check it out. This is some raw, disgusting, putrid meat.